A text arrived late one Tuesday night, lighting up my phone in the darkness. It was from my mother, Judith. I opened it without hesitation, not knowing that those few lines would mark the end of one life and the beginning of another. The property has been sold. We changed the locks on the repair shop. You are locked out now. Let's see how you survive on your own. I read the message again and again. The words themselves were cruel, but that single ha-ha was the sharpest knife. This wasn't just betrayal, it was celebration. They weren't ashamed, they were proud. They thought they had finally cut me out, and won. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't even feel panic. What rose inside me was something colder and far more dangerous: calm calculation. They believed locking me out of the garage ended the problem. They forgot something important. I didn't just work in that business. I was its backbone. I gently placed my phone on the table and sat in the silence of my apartment. A slow smile appeared on my face, not from happiness, but from clarity. They had no idea what they had just started. I opened my laptop. The glow of the screen filled the room as I logged into the supplier portal for Detroit's main auto parts distributor. The account holder's name appeared clearly on the screen: Emily. Every order, every purchase, every guarantee was tied to my personal credit card. I checked the most recent order my father, Walter, had placed earlier that day: 12 new transmissions scheduled for delivery the next morning. I clicked one button: canceled. Next, I went to the equipment leasing company, the advanced diagnostic machine they love to show off to customers. Leased under my name, backed by my credit, canceled. Then the regular tire shipment, canceled. By 3 minutes past midnight, their entire supply chain was frozen. By sunrise, the repair shop would be useless. They wouldn't be able to buy a single wrench without me. To understand how I had this much control, you need to know my story. My name is Emily. I'm 29 years old and I'm a highly skilled mechanic. My family owned a vehicle repair garage in Detroit, founded by my grandfather decades ago. For the last 10 years, that garage survived because of me. My father, Walter, was the face of the business. He smiled, shook hands, and told stories, but he couldn't tell the difference between a torque wrench and a socket wrench. My mother, Judith, cared only about appearances and social status. Owning the garage made her feel important. Then there was my younger sister, Bridget. She was 24 and the golden child, charming, beautiful, and completely allergic to responsibility. She never stepped foot inside the garage. She claimed she was allergic to grease. In reality, she was allergic to effort. I was the responsible one. That word sounds like a compliment, but in our family, it was a life sentence. While Bridget received a fully paid business degree and money for designer clothes, I worked. I started sweeping floors at 15. By 19, I could rebuild an engine. By 22, I was the lead mechanic, the bookkeeper, the inventory manager, and the supplier contact. I was the only thing keeping the business alive. And I didn't just give time, I gave money, a lot of it. Over 5 years, I invested $195,000 of my own money into that garage. First, a $15,000 business loan when my father's business credit was about to collapse. I used my perfect credit to save him. Then, $50,000 for new hydraulic lips and modern equipment when inspectors threatened to shut us down. That was my entire savings. Then, nearly $40,000 over 2 years to cover payroll, so my father wouldn't have to admit failure or face bounce checks. People always ask, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you stop? Because when you grow up in a family where your worth equals your usefulness, responsibility becomes a prison. You believe that if you stop holding everything together, everything will collapse, and it will be your fault. You cling to the hope that one day your sacrifice will finally be noticed. It never is. While I drained my savings, Bridget posted vacation photos from Europe. My mother proudly told people the garage paid for it. They didn't see themselves as thieves. They believed it was my duty. At 7 a.m., my phone exploded with notifications. My father's voicemail came first. He was yelling, not asking. "Emily, what did you do? All our orders are canceled. Fix this immediately." Then a text from Bridget. "You're overreacting. Mom was just upset. This is really inconvenient for me." And finally, my mother posted publicly on social media. It's heartbreaking when children forget who provided for them. We gave everything and now we're being destroyed over nothing. Not one message asked if I was okay. Not one apology. They weren't angry about hurting me. They were angry because the money stopped. That was my final confirmation. I made coffee, opened my laptop, and called my old college roommate, Paige. She was now a partner at one of Detroit's top law firms. After hearing everything, she went quiet. "Emily," she finally said, "this is unjust enrichment and promissory estoppel. They owe you." "I want my money back," I replied, "and you'll get it." Within hours, Paige sent a formal legal demand: 30 days, repayment or ownership, otherwise a lawsuit. 2 days later, Paige called again, this time with worse news. The property had been sold to an LLC owned by Samuel Thorne, my sister's future father-in-law. The sale wasn't random, it was a deal. My sacrifices funded Bridget's marriage. Then came the final blow. The original $15,000 business loan. My father hadn't asked for help, he had forged my signature as guarantor. I wasn't helping him, I was covering up his felony. The ha-ha suddenly made sense. The criminal complaint destroyed everything. The land deal collapsed, the engagement ended. The lawsuit never went to trial. They settled fast. I watched the wire transfer hit my account for $100,000. I opened my old spreadsheet, highlighted $195,000, then deleted it. 6 months later, I opened my own garage, bright, clean, mine. This morning, under a classic Mustang, my new apprentice looked at me nervously. "Emily, am I ready?" I placed a torque wrench in her hand and smiled. "You're ready." I am free. I am not just a daughter or a mechanic. I am a builder, and this is my legacy. Have you ever chosen yourself over family? Did you have to tear everything down to build something new?